Alright, so I just picked up this new CUT55 plasma cutter from Arccaptain. Now what makes this thing different with all the other machines I've used in the past is this is a non-high frequency start system, as well as this also does the rust cleaning, so I'm really excited to try that out. So in today's video we're going to run this machine through its paces and we'll see how it performs. Alright, so let's get the machine out of the box and we'll see what it comes with. It's like a carrying strap. It's a really nice cover for your machine when you're not using it. It's like an 8-foot ground clamp. Torch itself. An air line, your electrical connector to go from 220 or 240 to 110, and then lastly some consumables. And here is a closer look at the unit itself, and the digital display is now illuminated and powered on. And another closer look at the torch itself. It seems like a pretty well made unit. Alright, so I just plugged in this machine, so let's do a quick overview of the digital display here. So this thing is really easy to read. Now I do have my machine plugged into 240 amps, so it will give me the maximum cutting ability. So we'll crank all the way up to 55 amps. And this little bar graph shows me this thing is at maximum capacity. So the next thing we can do is hit this mode button here. Now this symbol is for cutting. This is just your basic cutting of material. This symbol here, this one indicates you're going to be cutting grid material, so your checkered or expanded steel material. This indicator here is for plasma gouging mode. So this gouging mode right here, this is perfect for if you need to cut a groove in some thick metal to get full penetration for a weld you're working on completing. Now if we hit this function again, it'll put me into PT mode. Now from PT mode I can change my post flow down to 5 seconds or all the way up to 15. It's a bit excessive, so we're going to leave it at 5. And the last thing is the air button itself. This just changes the reading that this will give you up here. So if you're using bar, it'll give you that. I prefer PSI. Now it's also showing I have 86 going to the machine. Now if I hit the dial selector in the back where the air is connected, I can lower this and you'll see the display change on the screen itself. Before we start cutting, we're going to connect our torch itself, which is super simple. And now the trigger control connector. And lastly, the ground wire connection itself. Alright, for our cut samples, we'll be cutting this 1/4 inch steel, moving on to the 3/16 aluminum. We also have some painted steel. This is some 18 gauge and some rusty 16 gauge bare steel, additional 16 gauge stainless. Moving up, we have the 5/8 inch bar, and then lastly, some 1/2 inch steel bar stock. And later we'll come through with the rust remover and we'll remove the same rust off of that piece and off this hot rolled steel. Alright, so now that everything is set up, we can start cutting. Alright, first up is this 16 gauge stainless steel. There's a closer look at that, and the machine handled that effortlessly. Okay, next up we have some 16 gauge mild steel. There it is, I cut through that no problem as well. And now we're going to cut our painted 18 gauge. And again, that was another effortless cut. And now the 3/16 aluminum. And now to cut to this 1/4 inch steel. Went through that no problem as well. I probably could have turned up the air pressure some to pull some more of that slag out of the way. And moving up on the thickness, we're going to be doing this 5/8 inch bar. Closer look at that. Really no dross on the other side of that, so that's another good clean cut. All right, so last up I have this 1/2 inch bar. I have the machine set to 55 amps. Here is that cut piece still smoking, but you can see I had no issue going right through that. So a little bit of cleanup on the back side and we're good to go and continue to fabricate. All right, so far this machine has done a great job. It's cut everything I've thrown in front of it, as well as I've used it to cut this complete car apart. All right, moving on, we're going to try the rust removal process. So I'm going to change the mode of the machine over to the proper setting. Now I am going to remove the rust on this material in front of me. This is some stuff that's been sitting around my shop for quite a while. So as opposed to running a grinding wheel over it and causing that giant mess, we're going to try this. Now the only part of the procedure for this is you hold the torch at a 45-degree angle and you let the pilot arc do all the work. So we're going to do that now. All right, so far so good. Let's hit this with the wire brush and see what it looks like. All right, here is just a closer look after I removed that rust, clean it up a little bit. The really cool thing is if you've ever had to remove mill scale, it's miserable and you can see it got all the way through it. So if I wanted to spend more time on it, it could have removed all of that mill scale for me and come out super clean. Okay, I'm going to try the rust removal process again, but this time using it on this cold rolled sheet metal as opposed to the hot rolled bar. And there's a closer look at that. The rust is completely obliterated. Just as a point of the note, I tried it there as well, but if you change your arc angle any less than 45 degrees, you will gouge into the metal, so just be careful of that. But otherwise, that rust is gone and that's some clean metal. All right, so there you have it. This little machine cut everything I threw at it all the way up to 1/2 inch. It did amazing. The rust removal process was actually really cool too. It'll save me a lot of time in dealing with some rusty stuff that I'm dealing with. I cut an entire car apart with it, so I think it's an actually really good machine, and the digital display made things just really easy and quick to use. Now, so for just over $300, this is a pretty good investment. Now, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get one, as well as a discount code. And as always, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe for more videos.